Right now. All right, we are live finally, guys. That moment is here. Can you believe this? That today we have a very special guest with us, Dominic Jacotis, one of the most popular business consultants of this generation. She has been working for quite a while now. And before moving on to our agenda today, I would like to welcome all of you to our amazing podcast that is totally based on entrepreneurship and how you can build your business from scratch and also to target revenue at the same time at your desired uh, period. Like, let's say you want to hit a target of $1 million within 1 year, or maybe $1 lakh within 6 months. I don't know what's your target or what are you working with right now. Please comment below that what kind of business you're working with, where are you struggling right now, because it's completely based on building and scaling your business from scratch. So it is completely targeted for the startup or the new business owners. Okay. And all of you know me already, so I would not waste any more time in introducing myself. Let me introduce Dominique Japotis. She is from Washington, Seattle. Welcome to our amazing podcast session. We are so honored to have you here, Dominic. She is the one and only and one of my most closest friends, as well as one of the most popular business consultants of this era. So I would like to, pass the mic because I think she can give her introduction more better than me, right? So Dominic, welcome to our podcast once again. Thank you so much for being here with us. Please introduce yourself to the audience. What you're doing, how did you start your journey, and how can you help our audience to scale their business? Please share your
Yes.
story.
Yeah, so I'm a social media consultant. So I help people score big clients. So how I started was it started years ago. My journey right now is just phenomenal, and I started like off and on in 2012, and it was very very strange because how the way I started was it there was an ad on the internet. Okay, we have a lot of ads or so, but this was when we had like those white pages ads, and then you had like the red text on it, and it said like make $1 million overnight or something like that. So I clicked onto the ad and I said, okay, well, I'm going through some things and I want to see exactly where this takes me. So at that point in time, it wasn't really a passion of mine to get inside of the business or anything like that. But as soon as I jumped on the ad, and of course, through the webinar and everything like that, and then afterwards they were selling me a $2,000 program to be coached or so. And so after that, I said, oh well, I don't have $2,000 right now to hop and join, but what we can do is maybe I can just learn from somebody else who will teach me or something like that. So I went to doing like YouTube. I tried YouTube. I tried blogging. I tried doing all these things that it had everything to do with making money online or so. But I did not have like that type of balance or so. So what happened was as soon as I started to blog a little bit about how to make money or online or so, I started to gain traction, and I started to gain a lot of popularity really really quickly. And I was like one of those people back then who would make a lot of accounts and stuff like that on social media and try to back build and back link and everything like that, just doing a lot of tedious work or so. So I started to get some traction, and then like I started getting people in my inbox asking me like, hey, I've been struggling doing this for a while. Can you help me? And then I started to help like one client or so, and she was in like to selling candles, and she did not have a established business at this point in time. She did not have a website. She didn't have anything, right? And so I helped her for a while. Our relationship was no more because she thought that I was a guy, and I did not want her to think that or anything like that.
Yes.
And she wanted a personal relationship, so I had to end that relationship or so. But ever since then to now or so, it's always been like back and forth. I wasn't having like really, really good results. I would go to having a job, having a boyfriend, so I just did not have like the balance or so and the knowledge that I do now. So, fast forward to doing stuff now, I just took a leap of faith and say, hey, you know what? No more playing games, no more doing anything. Just do it, and then see exactly how far it's going to take you. So I did not have that type of mindset, to have the passion behind it, but I've always had the passion to help people or so. So doing the consulting and working online or stuff like that, I didn't really grasp a hold of the concept on how to make money or anything like that. I didn't have any business, experience. I didn't have any business education. I didn't have any, anything that had to do with business, right? I didn't have any selling skills either. But until I started to gain momentum and stuff like that, started to help a lot more people, that's when I started to gain a lot more experience, you know. So it takes more than just like learning out of a textbook on how to, do what I do or so. You actually have to get out in the field and actually help people and tumble a little bit. You have to be able to be okay with making mistakes. And so that's the reason why I'm here now, and I could be any more happier.
That's amazing. I think everyone starts off like that, right? Everyone actually starts from the same page, from a blank page, and then we start writing the story. Maybe we can, follow others as well who have already succeeded in their industries or in their arena. And there's so much to learn from following others as well. Maybe we can also take some consultancies like consultants from you. You are doing a great job. I think you grew by helping others. That's what we all do actually. And that's what we need to understand, that we go by lifting others. We need to understand what everyone wants to do, what is their passion, what is their dream, and where they want to see themselves. If we help others reach their goals, we automatically also reach our goals, because they will come and support us and go and support them. So this is how communities grow. This is how our groups have grown as well. And I think it's the same for everyone. So whatever page or group we run, we always think about the people in or the community that we want to build. We want to see that how we can serve them. What do they expect from us? What do they need from us? And if we can serve them that way, I think it works wonderfully, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I feel the same way you do.
Yeah, so I'm actually quite blessed to have a friend like Dominic, because I learned a lot of valuable things from her. And that day I was asking her that, a lot of trends and algorithms have been changing since the last 3 years, especially after the pandemic. A lot of things have changed economically, as well as, I will say, mentally, physically. Everyone has changed and tried to evolve, because there was this crisis, and once we overcome the crisis, we actually kind of evolve and do, and we have to do it. So today, that's what we are going to learn from Dominic, is that how we can evolve, or I will say, how we can overcome an obstacle and make it, turn it into a strength. Okay, so this is very important. So Dominic, my first question is that how we can actually, build our business from scratch. Those who have never done business before, especially online. What would be your advice for them? How to do the starting, or what kind of strategy should they have? Can you share that, please?
Absolutely. So, to build the business from scratch, most likely you will not have everything all together yet, right? It's almost like baking a cake. It's almost like riding a bike, but I can tell you that it's not as easy as baking a cake or riding a bike. But if you were to start from scratch, it depends on your situation, right? Because when I first started, I was living in an apartment that, $600 a month or so, and I didn't have like any type of money to invest in my business or anything. And a lot of people they get caught up in like, well, maybe I need a business loan or I need this, I need a an LLC to start or so. And you need to find your niche, right? You need to find what you're great at, what skill that you have. Do you have like one particular skill that you can solve that issue, one skill that you solve. And it could be anything, right? You can have a business like, online is infinite. We have all these infinite, strategies and marketing strategies to build a business, right? You can still do what you love to do and still build a business behind that. So to get inside of this business, if you want it to become a social media consultant or, a business consultant or so online, you need to figure out exactly what you are great at. Take one particular pain point, right? So my pain point for most coaches or so is getting enough clients, in a month or so. So that's my biggest pain point inside of the coaching space, that a lot of people do not have, a lot of clients inside of a month, and they're trying to fill their pipeline and fill their scheduling, right? So if you wanted to become a business consultant in like finance or social media or so, you need to find that pain point, inside of your niche, or if it's a lead generation niche or so, or if it's mindset, it could be anything that that you've had a problem in the past, but you solved it and now you can teach it. So that's one thing. You need to find the need and fill it, right? That's one thing you need to figure out, right? And the next, to build from that or so, you need to figure out a type of way to get your message right. You want your messaging correct, right? Because if it doesn't connect with the audience or so, or what you're trying to convey, it will not make sense, and your audience will be most likely confused. So your messaging does have to be on point. So for an example, you help a certain group of people get to XYZ with this type of benefit, right? So that messaging part has to connect with the people, right? And then afterwards, as soon as you get those two things down, right, then you can try to figure out a way to create an offer. And it doesn't have to be a big offer. Like when I first started, I had like maybe like a $1,200 offer, and it only had like one thing, one feature that I could do. Hey, I'll give you 1,000 leads, in a month for $1,000, a dollar per lead. Or so these are like potential leads. I had, validated that offer quite a bit of times or so, and people loved it, right? And I was able to give them, and provide, and was able to, fulfill that need or so. So you need to find a need to fill it. You need your messaging correct, and you need an offer. Those three things. And if you have an understanding of those three things, you are definitely going to be able to get started. You know, like even today or so. So that skill part, you need to have that down. Like even if you're scared, of you even if you only done it for like a few months or so, and you're still like in a baby stage, you can still help other people, because you only need to be like two steps ahead of a person, in the side of this business. They don't care, clients and customers do not care how much experience that you have. They just want you know, their needs met. It's almost like going to McDonald's. They want to get their coffee, they want to get their breakfast in the morning. They just want that. They don't want to know exactly how you make this or how you make the coffee or stuff. They want to know if you can solve that issue, that craving, for them. So those three particular things, you need to get down. And I hope that everybody's writing that down.
Definitely. I think it's high time you take a notepad and write down whatever you can learn from here, because every single advice that Dominic is showing, every single valuable tips are being shared here that it will be actually useful to you in the future. Or I think you can also start implementing them from today, right now, because it's never too late to start. And even if you have struggled for years, believe me, you can see your growth like a hockey stick, uh, upside down hockey stick, that will definitely work for your business very soon. And you just need to have faith in yourself, follow other businesses, especially the businesses in your industry who are working with the same products or the same services. How did they start, or how are they working? How are they operating their pages? What kind of information they share on their pages? What kind of captions? How long should the captions be? What sort of words should be used? Then if you're selling a product, let's say, you can also do some market. Obviously, tons of market research are very, very. I think the first step to starting your business is doing market research. Without that, you can't complete your business agenda or your strategy. There will always
Yeah.
be some loopholes in your strategy if you don't do market research. So
Right.
obviously, like Dominic has also said, that we will always struggle, but will also find a way out of it. There's always hope where there is trouble. Okay, where there is will, there is a way. We all know it. So keep going where you're going, and make sure whenever you're facing problem, look back. Take time for self-reflection. Find out what has happened before, and if you think about your past actions, you will find out eventually that what you had done wrong, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, because getting inside of the business and stuff, because I can talk about how to scale like all day long, and fatten up the audience with a whole bunch of information or so, because there is always going to be mistakes, and a lot of people are too afraid to make those mistakes, and this is the reason why they go to coaching or go to these events and stuff, and they know that they're making a ton of mistakes, but it's really getting into that mindset of, okay, I'm down now, I made a mistake, now what do I have to do to get build myself back up or again or so. And those three main ingredients, right? Because even for myself, I've had this issue for a long time, for maybe about a year, of figuring out my messaging to my audience, because I was just promoting my offer to just everybody, right? So my messaging was not down just correct. So I had to figure out exactly who my ideal client was and who I wanted to sell to, right? And a lot of these coaches and consultants and even social media, agency owners, they want to help every single body, but they cannot help themselves or cannot help a certain group of people or so. So getting that messaging down, like say that, okay, you're a consultant. Do you only help other consultants? Do you help people in the MLN space? You got to figure out your targeting, of who you want to work with. And we don't just want to work with just anybody, right? Because sometimes they could be like the most perfect person in the world or so, but then later on down the road, we figure out that probably they have different situations or so. They have different mindsets, and people go through phases. And sometimes they could be like really, really good clients, but then fall off or so, right? And so it's a lot of learning and stuff like that, and a lot of tweaking inside of the business for people to know. And I think I just wrote a post about this, that it does not take overnight to learn a skill. It doesn't, or to master one or so, right? So and once you master that one particular mistake or so, and find out solutions for it, then you can go on to the next and to the next and figure out different ways to solve a lot more problems. And I think when it comes to like one particular problem, you can solve that one problem and then figure out other problems to solve. And in this business, it is more than just the three things that I talked about. Of course, you have to have a good marketing strategy. You have to have like really great content. You may have to hire a couple people to save you a lot of time to actually build momentum to scale. But it takes more to that, because people think that scaling is like a whole bunch of ads or a lot of like marketing and stuff like that. It's actually not the right definition of scaling. The right definition of scaling is actually solving a lot more problems, and then a lot of people are helping you solve a lot more problems, and that's how you scale, right? So I hope that answered the question.
Definitely, definitely. We need to scale our business. And if we stay stuck in one place, we keep following the same strategy again and again, we will be actually repeating the same mistakes. So, what she just said actually works in real life. If you look back at your previous strategies, previous actions, you'll find out your mistakes. And what you have to do is you have to stay updated with the changes that coming up in the world. This is a fast paced world. People's mindsets are changing. Our environment is constantly changing. So we cannot always follow the old school or 19th century business mantra in the 21st century. right? And this is time for autopilot as well. We are already going autopilot on a lot of operations, especially in CRM. If we talk about website chatting, like let's say if you want to talk to your customer, there's chatbots now, right? It didn't exist before 10 years ago. And this means we need to also upgrade our business systems to a level that will be actually acceptable and welcomeable by everyone, especially by your customers. You need to understand your customers before you understand your business. If you understand your customers, you can understand your business. It's that simple. And I have also struggled a lot when it came to very in the beginning. I will say I started off back in 2016, and at that time I had no idea how I was going to do it. Even though I was a business student, I did have some strategies, I did have those calculations, budgets, and all, but I didn't know how do customers work or behave online. So what I did was I did some surveys. I tried to understand what kind of people uh, exist in my friend list. Okay, who are my friends with? What do they want? What do they like? What do they dislike? So this kind of things actually got me to the point of selling. I diagnosed my customers. I tried to understand my surrounding. I tried to absorb everyone's mindsets, and then I went with launching the products, and then I sold them, right? And the best part about that strategy is that when you sell on demand, you don't have to boost any posts. You don't have to spend any kind of marketing expense. Like when we are boosting Facebook ads, you have to make some expenses, right? Very obvious. But if you do some survey and sell on demand products, you don't even have to make any kind of advertising expense, because it's going to sell automatically. You will already have your customers ready before your products are launched. So that is amazing. I think we have seen this in today's world this year as well. I would like to share about one company. I would drop the company's link below. And this is on passive. This company will allow your business to run on autopilot. This means all your operations like your CRM, your uh, HR management or recruitment. Then you can also find your training courses for your employees or your clients in the over here. They also have an academy for training your employees or your clients or yourself even. So they have almost everything. It's a total business solution on passive. I would like to share this in my next webinar or podcast, because today we are not talking about that, but it will definitely help you to scale your business. It will bring you leads on autopilot. You don't have to work much for your customer. Once you are done setting up your page or your products on your platform, it will bring you customers automatically. So this is such a platform. We will talk about it in another webinar, but right now, definitely you need some branding. Like you said, you need to face your problems and you need to find out how to face those problems. So, Dominic, I would like to request our amazing consultant, Dominic J. Portis, that please, can you summarize all the do's and don'ts in a few points, because we are running out of time. I think we have only 5 minutes left to end this podcast. So, can you summarize all the bullet points of do's and don'ts for online businesses, for
Sure,
entrepreneurs?
sure. So the don'ts. I'll just cover the don'ts at first. So what you don't want to do is to just try to sell to every single person and just throw spaghetti at a wall. You want to figure out exactly who your ideal client, who you want to work with, And number two, as a don't, and I always say this, is to don't hop onto too many coaching programs. Don't hop onto too many things, and chasing 10 different avenues, because you won't be
Yep.
able to set, a path for yourself. You want to be set to one program and be set for one thing. And another don't is to, having a lot of social media networking platforms and stuff. You want to just figure out one particular platform and then drive that one vehicle, right? And then so for the do's, you want to find a need and fix it. You want to have your a clear message on who you want to offer. You want to have a good marketing strategy, right, and a good sales process. Those four different things or so, and you want to understand people, right? Because if you don't understand those things, you won't be able to understand business. And business is all about networking with other people or so. It's just not about money. It's about networking with people and understanding your clients and understanding the business, right? Because without the clients or so, your business will not run. So those are the do's and the don'ts or so. I don't want to jump into like, which what type of social media platform is the best because really it really comes down to what you know, right? It's like you know what you know. If you know Facebook, stick with Facebook. If you know LinkedIn, stick with LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram, and so on and so forth. Just stick to one thing. But that's what I want to say.
Amazing, amazing. And because we are at the last moments, can you also share your marketing strategy, like the content we are talking about, how to run contents on autopilot? Can you
Oh,
also share that
sure.
briefly, very
So
briefly?
Sure. So how do I started to do have a marketing strategy to run it on autopilot. It wasn't just paid ads because I we all have to start on organic or so. So I had to figure this one thing out, right? Where are my clients hanging out at, right? So I know that my clients are hanging out in these pages, with a whole bunch of business folks, and a whole bunch of business folks are buying from these influencers. So I figured that okay, well, if they're networking and they know exactly selling, they're going to buy anything. It's almost like going to a mall or going to a farmer's market, right? You want to go to a place where people are hanging out at, right? So Dean Graciosi, Tony Robbins, or so. So to figure out your content strategy, you have to figure out this, right? You have to figure out exactly what's working on social media, right? What has the most biggest engagement, right? Social media memes, they're crushing the game, right? So a meme could work, right? Reels, it depends on what type of topic that you're talking about. Reels are good for, talking about a certain pain point or so. You want to have at least like 5 to 10 different content strategies, you know, uh, 5 best ways to do XYZ or something like that. Um, how did you got from one place and got to the next? Storytelling, you know, uh, posts, like Tony Robbins was here, he had this problem, now he fixed it. Those are high engagement posts. So what you want to do, you want to, talk about, what it is that you want to convey to the audience, right? Certain mistakes that they had, right? That's the best content strategy that I can tell you is mistake stuff. Talking about a certain mistake and how you fixed it. That's the best thing that I can tell you because they're high engaging and they get a lot of value. And if you can help, the more you help a person, the more you build that rapport, and the more likely that they're going to work with you, right? So you want to work with that, and then at the end of the day, a lead magnet or so to get to this location or maybe to an event or a certain lead magnet or so. But that's like the best way to scale. You want to create a large amount of content right in a month or so, like batch it, and then just post it, right? If you wanted to put it like on autopilot, I would suggest maybe hiring somebody who could just put it out for you, and that's how you really get that momentum going. You just do your content, give it to your content strategy person or a social media marketing person, and then have them do it, right? Anything that you can do to save you a lot more time, and I think Mike Barron said this: if you can take every single task inside of your business and hire somebody to do it for you, you will save a lot more time in your day. You don't have to do anything, and that's how you really get that autopilot. I wouldn't suggest doing it like starting it off right if you don't have the money to hire or anything like that. I would suggest like batching all your content, then putting that out there. But then maybe $50 a month or so for a VA or so, or some people who are working for just testimonials, hire them, and they'll put out the content for you, and that's how you really build that autopilot thing.
Yeah, perfect. Amazing. I think that's a wonderful strategy everyone should follow. And Autopilot works the best way because nowadays everything is rushing a lot faster than we expect. So it's very important that we put, uh, I think, most of our operational systems on autopilot. That is why On Passive has brought you some robots for you, which will work for you online 24/7. You don't need to hire anyone anymore. So that's the best part about it. It will on passes odesk will definitely bring you some leads and generate revenue for you online, and then there is this o stuff that can recruit employees for you if you need. All right, so there are more products like that. Check out the website of OnPassive, that is www.onpassive.com. I'll drop the link below. And since we are at the end of the podcast, we are going to end this right here with a very valuable message for you. That will be a one sentence message, but very effective message and very powerful for you guys. So, Dominic, please share your last message. I am sure you have a lot of messages to share. They're going to be wonderful. But since we are running out of time, just one last message. Anything you have for your audience?
Yeah, I would say if you're stuck in a area, keep going. Just understand people and read a lot of books about understanding people because once you learn the behaviors of people, you'll be able to understand how to hire people, how to, sell to people, right? People is business, right? That's my last message.
Absolutely. It's so amazing. I think we have heard a lot of valuable tips from you, and we have also learned something new, that is how to scale our business when we are stuck. And I'm sure this is going to help millions of people out there. So those who haven't watched it, because it's an odd time in here in our country, Bangladesh, a lot of people are sleeping at this hour. But I'm sure that they can replay it and watch it anytime. And if you have any question, our consultant Dominic is always there to answer your questions. So you can feel free to drop your questions in the comment box below. And we will try to get back to you. She will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And thank you so much for being here with us for your precious time. I'm sure that everyone will love it and everyone will benefit from it. So if you have missed it, please feel free to play the replay version of this recorded podcast. It will be recorded once we end it. So no worries there if you missed it. And feel free to comment below that what kind of business you're doing. And that will probably help Dominic to reach you accordingly, because everyone's business is different from each other. So it will be better if you drop your page links and share your journey or what you're struggling with. Then maybe we can help you in a much better way. Thank you so much for this amazing session, Dominic. I'm extremely grateful to have you here, and I'm pretty sure our audience is too. And because a lot of people miss due to the odd hour, I'm sure they will watch it later on and get back to you very soon. Thank you so much. We will see you again, probably in another amazing podcast. It was really, really amazing to have you here. I'm extremely delighted to tell you that this podcast was amazing and we got to learn some really valuable things from her. Dominic, you're amazing. Keep growing, keep shining the way you do, and keep helping more people because it really makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you too. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. So it was